Smarties. There we go, I think that's better now. So I've got the mic sorted. Hopefully you can hear me now and the music's not too loud. Got audio, good. Now I just need to fix this one because it's not happy. Right, that's the wrong one. There we go. Right. Are we back? No, almost. There we go. Okay, so we should now have one camera, two cameras, and audio. This is good fun. So far, every time I've streamed, I've had at least one problem, but hopefully that's us. All good now. Perfect. And you can hear me okay. I'm not too loud. The music's not too loud. We'll get this all out of the way before we start. A wee bit. It's a happy Friday, finally. I did my wee introduction, but I don't think anybody could hear me because everything was turned off, basically. So, sounds good, perfect. So yeah, it's another rainy one here, unfortunately. So I have all the lights on in the kitchen because it looked as though it was 9 o'clock at night in here earlier. Not ideal, but what can you do? I hope you're having a better Friday morning, Thursday evening, whatever time it is for you. So today I'm gonna make a German dish. They're called Schupfnudeln, which is, they're kind of like little potato dumplingy pasta type things. They're quite difficult to explain, but basically maybe a little bit like gnocchi, but a kind of a different shape. Actually, I've got a picture of them that I can show you. Friday 3 AM, that's dedication. Is that another night shift one for you? I'm just gonna get a picture of them so I can show you how they should hopefully look when we're finished. So here, oh. So that's basically what we're looking at. So this is hopefully how it's going to turn out eventually, and I'm going to do it with some sauerkraut, and I'm going to make some fake bacon for the first time ever. We're pretty much vegetarian now, pretty much, and bacon is one thing that I miss because I do enjoy a bit of bacon. I think just that kind of smoky taste. So I'm going to try this recipe that I just found online. I'll post all the recipes at some point as well. Found it online. It looks like a pretty good one. It gets good reviews, so we'll give it a bash and see how we go. Oh, there's a wet cat just come in. Been working nights almost 8 years. Oof, that's full on. I would struggle. Nights is one thing I've never done. I used to work in a bar, and in there it was a hotel bar, so quite often we could be in there till maybe 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and that was more than enough, and I was no use to anyone for the next couple of days. Right, so I'm gonna just get started with this. It's a bit of a process, so again, I've not made either of these recipes before. It's one that I've wanted to make for quite a long time, but never actually really got round to it. And then I bought, I'm not gonna lie, I'm cheating slightly with the sauerkraut. I've not made my own. I've just got a big jar of it, and it's been sitting in the cupboard for a wee while, and I thought I could do with doing something with that. So we're gonna give it a bash today, and if it's nice, that's my lunch. So just going to get started. So we need to start with our potatoes. So I'm just going to go and grab my potatoes. And it says I need, it was actually, I think it was an American recipe, so I've had to change it to metric measurements. And they're all a bit strange, so I've now got 453.59 grams of potatoes, which is very specific. 157 and 37.50 milliliters of flour. So yeah, wish me luck with this one. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. I'll get my scales and see. I find it really difficult to kind of eyeball weights of potatoes. Right, what have I got? So I need 453. Oh, that's perfect. So that's 730 grams. But if I'm peeling them, that'll get rid of some of it. So I think I'll just do all of them and we can kind of adapt the rest of it just to suit. And we'll see how we go with that. I know, it's one thing I don't understand. Why do we all need different measurements? I'm sure there's a reason to it. I'm sure there's some kind of history to it, but I don't understand it. And I find, obviously I'm used to working with metric, so that when it comes up with like cups and stuff, that's where I really struggle. And especially with baking, I'm not that good at baking to be able to kind of feel how much should be going in. I very much need specific measurements, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm hoping. I've had these, once they've been finished, I've never actually seen anyone make them, so it could be a bit of an adventure, but hopefully if they turn out nice they will be quite good. Going to grab my little food waste bag and put all the peelings in there. So have you been cooking anything nice on your stream lately, Link of Hyrule? I had a little look over yesterday to have a wee nosy to see what you were up to. But I think you're online, I think it's the middle of the night here, and long in my bed at that point, unfortunately. So I'm just going to peel these quickly and then give them a quick wash. And then we just want to cook them in simmering water until they're soft. So I might actually stick the kettle on first. I've got a cat staring at me because he's absolutely soaked from being outside. Stick that on. Too loud. Jennifer, Janet, hi, welcome to the stream. My cats are trying to convince me they haven't been fed. Yeah, mine do that all the time. You think, I'm the one that fed you. I know fine well that you've been fed. You're talking a lot of nonsense. And that's it. I think they would eat all day, every day if they could. But one of ours, he goes out, he likes to sit out in the rain and then comes back in and he'll sit and wait at your feet until you get a towel and dry him off. It's a bit of a drama queen. So this is saying 500 grams, 450-ish, and that is 3 big potatoes and 3 wee potatoes, which I always think that might be a better way of doing the measurements for potatoes, because I always kind of struggle with them. But good morning, Visual Tyke, how are you? Nice to see you again. Hope we're all well on this horribly rainy Friday. I hope you've all got nicer weather than we do, because this is just, it's absolutely rotten. And to think that this is technically summer is quite depressing. But I suppose living in Scotland, there's not much else you can expect. Recently I've been doing recipes from the Warcraft game cookbook. Oh! What kind of recipes are in the Warcraft cookbook? Is that like, excuse me being really daft, I've never played Warcraft before, but is that almost like kind of medieval recipes and stuff? That sounds pretty cool. Did a giant burger mukbang. Oh, there's nothing better than a good burger. There really isn't. Because we've been trying to kind of cut down on our meat, we've eaten a lot of vegan burgers recently, vegan and vegetarian burgers. And there's one, and I think it's made with mushrooms. It's either mushrooms or soya, can't remember which, it's one of the two. And they put, so it's a vegetarian one, because they put little chunks of mozzarella through it. So nice. And then the thing I like with those burgers is that when you cook them, normally you can just cook them in the oven or in a pan. When you cook them, they don't shrink like regular burgers do. So you'll start off with like a big patty and you'll end up with the same size. And that always frustrates me when you cook, if you cook a burger, I suppose I think it's like the cheaper burgers, if you cook them they shrink and you've got this tiny little patty and a huge big bun. And that's not what you want from a burger. Right, I'm going to wash these now quickly. Rid of all of this. And then for speed, I'm just going to chop these up slightly, just because then they'll cook a bit quicker if they're a bit smaller. Medieval kinda. Actually, in-game food was like, ah, that's pretty cool. So what have you made from that book so far then? I've never ever seen like a video game cookbook before. I didn't realise that was a thing. But I bet that's quite interesting. We watched a YouTube video, I think it was just last night, where a guy made beef fudge. And apparently it's like an old-fashioned recipe. I kind of missed the backstory to it. But it's basically, they like roast a bit of beef and then shred it up and then put it through like sugar and evaporated milk and then leave it to set, and it goes like fudge. And it looked absolutely disgusting, but apparently this is something that people used to eat. But they said that when they tried it, it tasted like dog food, and that's exactly what it looked like. It just looked awful. I don't know why you would think to combine beef and fudge. It just makes no sense to me. So I'm just chopping these up nice and fine. Well, not finely. Oh, fix my camera. You can see if I'm chopping it as well. So I'm just chopping these up just to about, just sort of chunks, that kind of size. It doesn't say to do that in the recipe, but if I put them in as they are, it'll take ages for them to cook. And there's a few different steps to the process, so I want to be finished by lunchtime and not sometime tomorrow. Quite looking forward to these actually. It's been ages since we've had these. I don't know how many people have heard of them. I think, I've got a feeling they're like a southern German meal or dish, I think. So it's possibly quite specific. But you can serve it with all sorts of things. You can do it with, one popular one is just to make them up and fry them in a pan with a little bit of sage butter. Couldn't find sage anywhere, I don't know why, but that wasn't an option. So when I had the sauerkraut here anyway, I thought, oh, that's ideal. And then really, we've all never had it with sauerkraut and bacon. So that was when I thought, I'm gonna have a wee look and see if there's a way, surely there's a way I can make like vegetarian or vegan bacon. And this one, it's with rice flour. So you basically make like a little sauce and dip rice paper in this sauce. And it's supposed to make it taste like bacon, but we'll soon see. Just made some bacon called Tracker Snacks. Oh, so was that bacon that you made from scratch, or was it like a recipe with that you use bacon for? I had others like buzzard turkey bites and crispy bat. Oh, that sounds awful. At least if it's only chicken, that's not too bad, but thinking of it as crispy bat, that sounds a bit, I think that would put me off slightly. But I quite like that idea of cooking, because I suppose it's probably the kind of things that they would have used in medieval times, but without actually having to use the same ones. You can probably substitute most of it. Right, I am now, now going to get a pot. When I was veg years ago, my mum found vegetarian bagel bits that were amazing, and I haven't found them since. I also have not found them since. It's one thing that I've been looking for, because we do eat a lot of vegetarian stuff, and I think even on like a salad or something, it'd be nice just to sprinkle some on top. But they're really hard to find. I think you can get them in America. Link of Hyrule, you might know this actually. Have you ever seen, I think it comes in like a plastic kind of tub, and it's just full of little crunchy bits that taste like bacon, and they're actually really nice. The next cookbook might be this. Oh, there's a Star Trek cookbook. There's a whole world of cookbooks that I had no idea about. So what kind of recipes will be in that then? Will that be like kind of space food type idea? That'd be quite interesting. Maybe that's what I need to kind of, that's what I maybe need to add into my repertoire slightly. I'll get rid of that while this isn't. I had them on bagels and dairy free cream cheese delish. Oh, that does sound nice. Yeah, because on bagels you want something tasty on them. I like, I think my favourite on bagels is smoked salmon. I love some smoked salmon, cream cheese, and then some really finely chopped red onion. That's my favourite on a bagel. Yes, the bacon bits. So I think the bacon bits you can get in America, but I have not seen them in years here. So I don't know if it's maybe something you need to order online. I don't know, it's one of these things, it's such a pest if you find something you really like and then they're discontinued or they just seem to disappear. And then you think, well, what am I supposed to do now? I was enjoying that. Right, so I'm going to stick my pot on and get these cooking, because it'll take maybe about 20 minutes to cook, because we just want them cooked through so that they're soft, and then we're going to mash them all up, add a few other bits to it, and then roll them out and then try and shape them, which the recipe says is really straightforward. But I remember once I tried to make, it's another German thing, I tried to make the like soft pretzels, and I think the hardest part about it was trying to shape them, because there's definitely a knack to it, and I think you can find like YouTube videos on how to shape pretzels. But the way they do it, it's like they get the dough, they roll it out into sausage, they get the dough, and then they just kind of go like that, and they've got a pretzel at the end. And when I do that, I just get dough either on the floor or in a knot. So I think I'm going to need to practice that, because it looks like a pretty cool skill to have. But I've definitely not mastered it yet. But I'm thinking surely these little noodles can't be nearly as difficult as that. But we'll see. Every day's a school day and all that. So I'm going to get some salt to add to the water. American bacon is pog. Pog? What's pog? Am I being really thick? American bacon is pog. Because I think we get quite different bacons. I think because you tend to have like the streaky bacon, whereas we've got it's got more like actual meat on it and just like a thin layer of fat around the side. We do get streaky bacon as well, but that's definitely like a special kind of bacon. See, all this talk about bacon. Oh, you can tell I'm new here, can't you? Twitch speak for the best. I might need to write that one down. I hadn't realised there was a Twitch dictionary as well. I'm gonna need to look into that. I thought I was doing quite well. I feel like I've almost got things sort of, I feel like I'm almost on top of things, but there's still things that keep popping up. I tried to do a raid yesterday for the first time and that didn't work. But, as I said, every day's a school day, so we'll get there eventually. Right, I'm going to put my hob on. Not too high, because if I put it on too high it's going to be really loud. Water. That should do. So I've got the pot about half full with water, and then I'll just be careful when I put these in. I'm trying not to burn myself on the boiling water. So I'm just going to leave these in for probably, oh that's quite hot, probably about, I'll have to get a spoon for this, this is red, about 20 minutes. Yeah, that's much safer. I don't want to end up scalding myself making potatoes. Yeah, so these will be on for about 20 minutes, and then in the meantime, I think we'll make a start on the bacon. On the bacon kind of sauce that we're going to put the rice paper in. It'll be interesting to see if this works, because I feel like this could be quite a handy recipe to have. And I've soaked my worktop now. Right, that's better. So this wants to be simmering, so we're not quite there. Oh. And I've just learned how to put, hold on, start again. Oh, all my technical stuff is working wonders for me this morning. Just managed to put a timer on my hob when I didn't actually want one. Right, that'll do. So we'll leave that for 20 minutes until the potatoes start to soften. and then we can mash them up. It says to use a, what's it called, a potato ricer, which I don't have. I've just got one of like the hand mashers. So I'm just going to hope that if I get them soft enough, I can really kind of batter them with a masher, and that'll get all the lumps out. Obviously a potato ricer, if you've got a potato ricer, that would be much easier, but who owns a potato ricer? Is that a fairly common thing? I don't know. It'd be nice though, because there's nothing I like better than really, really smooth mashed potato. So maybe it's something I need to invest in. Right, that's doing its thing there. So we're going to leave that just to do what it's doing. And now we're going to have a wee look at the rice paper bacon. So it says we want 2 sheets of rice paper. And then the other ingredients are tamari, maple syrup, nutritional yeast and smoked paprika. Which does sound interesting, so I suppose it'll be a kind of bacony, cheesy flavour. We'll see. I'm interested. Right, so I've got my rice paper, and technically this is just rice paper, yeah. So this is rice paper, and it's just the ones for the spring, like if you're making spring rolls. So obviously, I don't know if you can actually buy these square. Obviously if you had a square one that would be better, because you want kind of strips of bacon. But I'm not sure that's a thing, so I'm just going to use this, and we'll just have some bits that are kind of a bit of a strange shape. But at the end of it, I'm just going to kind of crumble it up anyway, so it's not really going to matter what shape it is. So we've got that, maple syrup, nutritional yeast and smoked paprika. Technology and me do not mix well. I am exactly the same. Absolutely hopeless. That's it. I've got this set up. It's all ready to go. All sorted. I've done it a couple of times now, and then I came on this morning and not one thing worked. But I got it fixed quite quickly. I don't think too many people noticed, so we're okay. Right, how big I should do it. Right, I need to whisk it so I want a bigger bowl so I don't make a mess. Use this one. So, and tamari. Yeah, so in case you're wondering, tamari it's just soy sauce, but it's gluten-free soy sauce. So because I am gluten-free, obviously I can't have regular soy sauce, but this stuff, it tastes exactly the same. I mean, it's been a while since I've had regular soy sauce, so I don't know if I would notice a difference, but anytime I give anyone else tamari, no one's known the difference. And I think it's a Japanese soy sauce, and then regular soy sauce is more Chinese. So, and it tends to be fairly easy to get. I mean, I can get that in most of our supermarkets, so if you're looking for that, just look out for tamari rather than soy sauce. Although this one's called tamari soy sauce, but it says on it it's gluten-free. Okay, a small mixing bowl, 1 tablespoon of tamari, maple syrup and a teaspoon of paprika. A little measuring bits out. And then I know I'm just waiting to have issues with my maple syrup. I don't know if this is the same with anybody else, but I've got these 2 open bottles of maple syrup, and every time I try and open them up, the maple syrup is like congealed round the lid and it won't budge. So I end up having to run it under the hot water to melt like the sugar that's round the top to even get the lid off. So I've got a feeling that's going to happen again today. after me saying that, it must have been all these exercises I'm doing. Not really. And then we've got 1/4 of a tablespoon of maple syrup. And that's maybe about half, but so this recipe, when I looked at it, it said it makes 12 pieces. I thought that seemed like quite a lot for just a couple of, although, because I'm going to have quite a lot of noodles, so I might actually double it back up again, and then I can keep some if I have this again over the weekend. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go for another tablespoon of the tamari, and we'll just have to hope it's nice then if I've got loads of it. So that's 2 tablespoons of tamari instead. And again, you could, if you're not gluten free and you have soy sauce, you could just use regular soy sauce for this, because it does just taste very similar. I'm going to put a little bit of this in because I think I put too much in the first place, but, and probably again there too, but oh well. And then we want a tablespoon of nutritional yeast. I really like the smell of nutritional yeast. It's kind of nutty and cheesy at the same time. Right, so I'm doubling this up, so I want 2 tablespoons, so that's about-ish. And then a smoked paprika, and I want a half so doubled. And my pot's not doing much, so I'm going to put it up a little bit and see if that does anything. Right, so a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Right, I'm going to put this other camera on and you can see, hopefully. So that's what it looks like at the moment. It looks a bit odd, but we'll go with it. We'll whisk it and we'll see what happens. I have to get back to work. No problem. I hope you enjoy the rest of your shift. And thanks again for coming along and watching. And have a good weekend when it comes, and I'll maybe see you on Sunday. Still need to try and make those cheese muffins. Yes, the cheese muffins, I'm not gonna lie, they are so good. They are so good. They're so easy to make as well, which is really good. And if you're packaged, you can just kind of throw them together and you've got something tasty and savoury, just to eat like a little savoury snack. Thank you very much for the follow, Dyer Hilt. Is that how you say that? Please let me know if I've murdered it. Right, this looks very strange. I don't know how much of this you can actually see. So it's looking quite, although, oh my god, it smells like bacon. It actually smells like bacon. So I'm just going to give this a proper good stir. Although I don't know if it maybe needs to be slightly more liquid. I'm not sure. And that's for 12 strips of bacon apparently. So we'll see how we go with this. I can't believe how much like bacon that smells. Will it go crispy? Yes, apparently it will go crispy. So once I've coated the rice paper in the sauce, we'll pop it in the oven for just 4 to 5 minutes, and that'll come out, and you just let it sit for a minute or two before you actually do anything with it, and it should be nice and crispy then. And then I think I read on it that if you make a load of it and you want to use some more another day, you can just pop it back in the oven for a minute or two just to crisp it back up again, because it will go a bit softer once it's been out for a wee while, or if you've had it in the fridge. So I'm really intrigued to see how this works, because I've got a good feeling about it now. I wasn't sure before I started. But yeah, no, I think I'm nearly convinced. My potatoes are actually doing something now, which is good. I'll get rid of all of these. Just pop these out the road a wee bit. Right, so I'm now going to get, so what did they say, 2 sheets of rice paper, so I've doubled it. That now seems like quite a lot. Right, I'll maybe start with 2 and then try the other 2. Yeah, so that's what a rice paper looks like. So it's quite solid at the moment. And then normally, if you were going to make, we quite often make summer rolls with these. So if you're going to make summer rolls with them, you then want to just soak this in some water, just for maybe 10 to 20 seconds, and just kind of play about with it, and you can actually start to feel it going kind of bendy and a lot more malleable. But obviously I think for this one we want to keep it as it is. Right, so I want to get scissors to chop it up into thin stripes. And to try and make this kind of look bacony. I feel like I should have like those, you know, like the craft scissors you used to get when you were wee, and they would make like a kind of a wave once you cut with them. I feel like that would be quite good for this. Does that look like bacon? I don't know. I don't know whether to half these or, I suppose since I'm crumbling them up, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. Oh, right, I think I'm just going to do 2. I'll do 2 to begin with, because then I can see how much of the sauce I've actually got left. And this recipe is just one that I found online. It's a guy that I follow on Instagram who does, I think almost all of his recipes are plant-based, and he does a lot with like gluten-free, dairy-free and refined sugar-free. So if you're interested, it's Healthy Living James, and I'll pop the recipes I'm using today up on the chat at some point, so you can go over and try them for yourself if you wanted. Right, I'm going to need to make a bit of space now, so I'll pop all of this stuff out the road. I don't know if you can see the change in the light, but the sun just came out for about a second there, so we might get a good day after all. Okay, so the potatoes are blubbering away by themselves, that's quite good. For the next part, let me see. Right, okay, so I need to preheat my oven. Right, so you want to preheat your oven and you want a hot baking tray. So I'm just going to line the tray with some greaseproof paper and pop it in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius, which I think is probably about 400 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. So I'll pop that in to heat up the tray, and then we can start dipping the strips into the sauce. Use my scissors. Fingers crossed the sun sees it. Thank you very much. We could do with a bit of sunshine. It's not been much of a summer for us here, but I mean, even if we could get a bit of sun over the weekend, that would be quite nice. It would make a bit of a change, and it'd be a bit. Maybe we could actually do something at the weekend rather than staying inside all the time. our tray in the oven. It's getting nice and hot. And I'm now just going to have a little look and see how this goes with this dipping. So I've got a feeling I'm going to end up in a bit of a mess. I don't know whether to brush it. It does just say dip. So that is what you're going to end up with. And then obviously that's just going to go on the baking paper. Good man. Hello to you too, how terrific, nice to see you again. Murphy is in his bed sleeping. He came in, you missed him actually earlier. He was on, well, I didn't put him on the camera because he looked like a little drowned rat. It had been raining all morning, so he came in and was absolutely soaked. So he's away into his bed now. Fake bacon, yes. Now this is a fairly recent discovery for me. I found it online, just a recipe that I found online, and bacon is one thing that I love. Every so often I'll treat myself to a little bit of bacon, but I always thought it'd be interesting to try and find if there is like a vegetarian or a vegan way of doing it. As we were talking about before, there used to be like little bacon bits that we used to be able to buy. I think you guys can still get it in the US, but it seems to have disappeared here. And they were just little crunchy bits of like fake bacon, and they were really, really nice. So I found this recipe and I'm gonna give it a bash. And it's basically, so what have we got? Tamari, so soy sauce, maple syrup, nutritional yeast, and smoked paprika. And that's what that is. And then we've got rice paper strips that I've just cut up. And we're gonna dip it in, coat it and bake it, and apparently that's going to be bacon, so we'll see. I mean, to be fair, it really smells like bacon. I didn't think it would, but it really does. Did you see drowned rat? Yes, that's what the cat looked like when he came in. He's really skinny and all his hair was kind of sticking out. Not a good look, but he's okay now, he's sleeping. The place I used to live made coconut bacon. How does that work? So is that like strips of coconut that then taste like bacon, or, and is it vegan? I'm very intrigued by that. That sounds very peculiar. Right, so I need somewhere to put this, but I really just want to wait for the pan heating up, because if I put it on a tray, I'm going to get all of the sauce on the tray. Right, hold on, I'm going to get my little brush maybe. Poor Murphy. Oh, he's fine now. I think you can hear us talking about him. He's looking at me again. And the other cat is Isla. So hold on, I'll type it. I think it's a Scottish name. So that's the second one, and she's sleeping as well. She's in her bed sleeping. It is vegan. They made it on a vegan food truck. Ooh. So was it in like strips, or how did they do that? Or was it like kind of chunks rather? That does sound strange. But I would definitely give it a go. Yeah. And the recipe that I found, it does get some really good reviews. So, I mean, I'm thinking it could be quite good. Plus, it seems really easy to make if it works. So, and then presumably, if you made a load of it, you could just break it all up and put it in a little jar, and then kind of have your own fake bacon jar. This brushes, that's a waste of time trying to brush it. Now I'm just going to have to get messy. Chunks of it. And what did they serve that with? So could you just buy it like that to take home with you to use, or would they put it on stuff? It's funny, I hadn't realised there were that many ways of making bacon. Oh, look at that, that's not going to end well. Yeah, I'm going to hold off with that and wait until my tray's out, because then I can put it straight onto the tray. Start to pop, and then buy it in the bag. Ooh, BLTs. Oh, I feel like these might make quite a nice BLT sandwich as well. That's a good idea actually. I'm really hoping these work now because this could open up a whole lot of possibilities. Nah, they're still solid. Still solid, we'll need to wait a wee bit for them. Oh. If I'm quick, there he is. That's him, he's up and he's away back outside. Put back in the right place. There we go. Right, so hopefully in a couple of minutes my tray will be ready. No problem. I'm really excited about this now. Now I really want just like a good old-fashioned bacon sandwich, and I think this could work quite well for it. If you like crispy bacon, I think that's going to be the issue. If you're not a big fan of crispy bacon, if you like it more like kind of soft and chewy, which I think is horrible, it needs to be crispy for me. But if you don't like crispy bacon, this might not be the right thing for you. But I don't know anybody that doesn't like crispy bacon, so let me check my oven. I'm just gonna put this. Oh, that, yeah, no, that is fine enough. And I was getting bored waiting. Right, so I'm gonna end up in such a mess for this, I think. So that's our first bit coated. It does look quite interesting, and I think possibly you want the tray to be hot before you start, because I think that will help the sauce stay stuck to the paper rather than it sort of getting stuck to the greaseproof paper underneath. Bacon sandwich and iron brew used to be the only thing for Sunday morning. Yeah, definitely. Although I found there's one company, I think they're still doing it, where they have reproduced iron brew, and I think it's called is it Enerzaid? So they've got a version of iron brew and a version of Lucozade with the full sugar, and it's supposed to be really nice. I think they had problems to begin with because they weren't fizzy enough. There was something wrong with like the carbonation or something, but I think they might have that sorted. I've yet to try it, but this could be like an alternative. So you could make a bacon sandwich with this and then get your fake iron brew from this other company. I think you can buy it online. I'm sure it's Enerzaid it's called. Yeah, so doing this with your fingers it's disgusting, but it's working a lot better. So you don't need nearly as much of the sauce because you can just kind of like pat it on, because I don't know how that. So that sauce was supposed to be for 12 strips of bacon, but I've only got 4 so far and I've nearly run out. So I might need to make some more. But it does look quite cool, and if you put it on with your fingers, then you do kind of get that almost kind of streaky look. Yeah, I'm very intrigued. And I just think bacon's quite a nice thing just to have a little bit of, that you can add if it's on salads, or you can add it to a sandwich, or like we said before, like a bagel with cream cheese. I think it's quite nice, even if you've got like maybe pasta. If you do like a pasta with tomato sauce, you could get some fake bacon and just sprinkle a little bit on top. So I think there probably is there's quite a lot of uses for it. So if it works out well, I might try and just make a big batch of it and then keep it. I don't know if you'd have to keep it in the fridge, or I think you could probably just keep it in the cupboard. keep it in the cupboard, and then so then you've just got little bits of bacon whenever you feel like it. Yeah, no, I'm definitely running out now. So that's about 6 pieces that I got from that amount. So I think I might do the same again. Oh, that's weird. Wait, I'll show you this. I don't know if you can see that. No, you won't be able to. But one of the bits actually looks like it's starting to crisp up already. I'm going to wash my hands quickly because that's not a good look. Bacon makes everything better. Yes, definitely. So I'm going to make this probably the same again of that, and then we'll make, because that's only, I can show you, I mean look at that, looks pretty good, doesn't it? I think this was my first one, and I think it's got far too much sauce on it. But the rest look pretty good. And you can actually see this one, it started to like crisp up a little bit from the heat of the pan. So it's looking good so far. So I'm going to grab the ingredients and make another lot. So probably enough of everything. Right, what did we have? Let's get my spoons back. Check on these before I, oh no, they're still solid. Right. Start again, it's like deja vu in here. So I think I'll just make the same again and just keep going until it runs out, because I'm impressed by this now that I've actually put it together. I've got a good feeling about it. So we've got 2 tablespoons of the nutritional yeast, and if you're looking for this, if you've not seen this before, a lot of vegans use it because it is vegan. It tastes kind of cheesy. It's kind of cheesy and nutty. So, and then I'll show you what it looks like. And it's almost like a little bit like kind of Parmesan flakes. Can you see that? So that's what that looks like. And it just, I like to add it to, on top of like pastas, or I make like a cashew cheese kind of sauce thing with it. And then obviously in this it works really well. I hadn't realised that bacon tasted of cheese, but apparently it must do if this is working. Big Davy, good morning Big Davy, how are you? Nice to see you, thanks for joining us. What do you reckon to that? Oh, on popcorn. Oh, that might be a game changer. Because I like popcorn, but I'm not a huge sweet fan. I much prefer like savoury snacks. So I do quite like cheese. I've had cheesy popcorn or butter popcorn rather than like the sweet caramelly popcorn. So that might be, oh, I might need to try that. That sounds really nice. Not bad, Tat. Good to hear that. Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. Just trying to ignore the weather outside because we have a horrible, horrible day again. But I've got all my lights on. I'm making fake bacon, so it could be much worse. And then we've got a teaspoon of the smoked paprika. You haven't had it on popcorn? No, I have not had it on popcorn. So would you just make the popcorn and then sprinkle the flakes on top, or would you do anything else with it? Or I've got corn that I can make into popcorn, so I might do that later on. It could rock your world or ruin it. No middle ground, right? I'm willing to try it. I'll give it a bash. I'm okay with that. Thank you very much for the follow, Big Davey. Much appreciated. Nice to have you here. What have I not had? What have I not put in? The syrup. Maple syrup. I'm really intrigued by this cheesy popcorn now. And half a tablespoon of maple syrup. Tiny wee bit more maybe. Thank you. I really want to, right, so you're going to have to tell me how terrific, you can't leave me hanging like that. Do you just make the popcorn and when it, maybe when it's still hot, just pour the flakes on the top? And then it might kind of melt in a wee bit? Oh, yeah, that's going to be a bit of an experiment, I think. I think it was just the nutritional yeast. I can see that working quite well. Maybe with the nutritional yeast and a little bit of salt, maybe. I'm going to make, so we've got our fairly horrible looking mixture here. And I'm just going to mix it together again. It just looks so strange like this. And then that's what it looks like once it's all kind of whisked together. And I cannot believe how much it smells like bacon. I never ever would have thought of mixing these 4 things to make something that tastes like bacon. Right, and then we've got our rice paper strips. It does look a bit like a barbecue sauce actually. See it? Yeah, it's maybe slightly more red than it's looking on the camera because it is quite a red colour. And this one feels a little bit thicker than the last one, but so I'm just going to kind of coat. I don't think there's any other cleaner way of doing this. I think you do just have to use your fingers and then just pop them on the tray with the rest of them. I'm really excited to see how these turn out now, because I feel like this could be a bit life-changing, like the cheesy popcorn. I might do that tonight actually if it's still raining and horrible. I think tonight would be a good night for a movie and some cheesy popcorn. I think I'm sold on that idea. And I can let you know if it works or not. Like jerky, aha! So it does actually. I mean, I think it'll be a lot more crispy than jerky. Obviously jerky is normally quite chewy, but maybe if you made it and then kind of left it to sit, it's supposed to kind of lose its crispiness if it's sitting for a wee while. So maybe if you do it that way and deliberately leave it, it might go a bit kind of chewy jerky way. And this begs the obvious question, which movie? I feel so out of the loop with movies, it's ridiculous. I cannot remember the last time I watched a movie. Although one that we were talking about watching was The Joker, because I've not seen that one yet. I've heard varying opinions. I've heard some people say that it's really good and some people didn't enjoy it. And I think some people said it was really sad. We can all watch a movie together. Do people do that? That would be quite cool. Especially if you were sitting on your own, you could sit and put a film on and just have a little chat with the Twitch chat. How does everyone feel about the Joker movie? Have we seen it? Have we not seen it? Did we enjoy it? Did we cry? Apparently it's supposed to be really sad, I think. I'm sure it was the Joker movie that people said was really sad. And I cry at all films, so that'll be me gone. Good morning. Oh, how do I pronounce that? Is it Simon Lides? Simon, come on. Nice to see you here. I hope you're having a good day so far. Well, this at the moment is fake bacon. So it's rice paper with a kind of a sauce of maple syrup, soy sauce, smoked paprika and nutritional yeast, and it's just been mixed together, and then I just have to kind of get really horrible and kind of coat these rice paper strips in it. So I think that'll do. There's a couple here that don't have that much on, so I'm going to put a little bit more on these. And then once we've got this, so the rest of it is, it's a German dish, and it's like kind of potato dumpling noodles. They're quite difficult to explain. They're probably most similar to gnocchi, that kind of idea. A slightly different shape, and then you boil them and fry them. And I'm going to make them with some sauerkraut and this fake bacon. I heard it was scary, and I don't do scary. Oh, is it? See, I like scary movies, and it's been a long time since I've watched a scary movie, so I think I would be quite up for that actually. They do. Some people watch movies on Discord and then chat on Discord. Oh, that's a good idea. I like that. I'm on Discord now. I don't fully know what I'm doing with it, and I don't think I have my own yet, but I'm working on it. One thing at a time. I've managed to get my technical stuff working today, so that'll do me for this stream, and then maybe over the weekend I'll have a look properly and see if I can figure out what I'm doing with it. Although I think it's quite good for like sharing recipes and stuff, so it might be quite good. Cool, yeah. Hopefully it'll taste quite nice. It's a couple of recipes that I've not made before, so we'll see. I've eaten them before. I've not eaten the bacon, but I've eaten the little noodles, and they are really, really nice. So hopefully I can recreate it. I haven't seen Joker yet, but I've heard mixed things. That was exactly the same with me. I think that's why I've not watched it yet, because people either seem to love it or hate it. So I'm not sure, but I think it's worth a watch probably. I think I've stained my fingers now. That stuff is very potent. So this is the exciting part. I'm now going to put the bacon in the oven for 4 to 5 minutes just. So I hope you can, so that's what it looks like. And I would say that looks quite bacon-like. So I'm going to pop it in the oven for 4 to 5 minutes, and we'll see what it looks like when it comes out. Yeah, that's fine. I don't need to turn them or anything. So. Strange, even just popping them in the oven there, they're starting to crisp up a little bit, and it definitely looks like bacon. I'm impressed. I love scary movies. Oh, so damn, I love them. Last movie I saw was a sequel to Train to Busan. I did love Train to Busan. Peninsula. Korean zombie movies. Well, that's a niche. That's a very specific kind of movie. See, I like the really sort of typical horror movies. Like I love a bit of Saw. I would say my favourite horror film is The Shining. I used to watch that when I was smaller and scared the life out of me, but I would still keep watching it. I just absolutely love it. It looks bacon. It does, and I'm quite impressed with it so far. I just can't wait to get it back out of the oven to see what it looks like once it's cooked. I'm going to check on Train to Busan is an excellent movie. I think I've heard of that. I've never actually seen it on anywhere. Do you know if it's on like Netflix or Prime or anything? Or would I need to buy it? Well, potatoes are still fairly hard, but I've possibly used the wrong potatoes. I think there's supposed to be like certain kinds of potatoes used for different things, but it was the only ones I had. So, did you watch the sequel to The Shining? Is that the one? What's it? Is it Doctor Sleep? Is that what it's called? I have read most of it. I read most of it on holiday, and then didn't finish it on holiday, and then forgot to read any of the rest of it. But I've heard it's supposed to be really, really good. Because that's the one where Danny's grown up, isn't it? No spoilers or anything. It smells like Doctor Sleep, yeah. No, I've not seen that yet. Maybe that's the one to watch tonight, actually. That was some cheesy popcorn, and I probably won't sleep again for a week. I'm going to get rid of the last of these bits of... Because that, with that paprika, you would stain everything you touch. It's not true to the book, I but I enjoyed it. Yeah, I find that seems to be the case a lot of the time with movies that have got the book as well, but there was a lot to the book, if I remember. It was quite a chunky one and there was a lot in it, so I can't imagine that they would have been able really to portray that in the film, because the film would then have been about however many hours long. Just take that off just now. Right, so I'm now just waiting for our bacon. I'm not quite sure what the pot of potatoes is doing, but it's splashing everywhere. Oh, get the bacon now. Yeah, so that recipe, I'll pop it up. Oh. I'll pop the recipe up, but that says so I would say you have to double the amount for however much you want to do, because I did half and only got a little amount, so yeah, if you're making it, double it. Right, are we ready? Right, okay, Okay, some of it's burnt. Interesting things when moving to a sort of resolution. No, I'll maybe watch that tonight actually, that sounds like a good shout. Right, so I've got my bacon out. This is what it looks like. I think it could have done with slightly less time in the oven. And you're supposed to leave it for about a minute. And I've just read the rest of the recipe and it says keep an eye on it and don't let it burn. Oops. But we can just get rid of the little burnt bits, that'll be okay. So you're supposed to leave it for a minute and let it crisp up, because when it came out it was still a wee bit kind of soft, but it seems to be crisping up already. Oh, can we see that? Look at that. It's like a proper bit of bacon. Right, hang on, I'm going to put you up here. And I'll grab a bit. Look! And it's properly, like, fairly solid. It doesn't smell as much like bacon now. I'm going to try a little bit. Oh. That tastes really like bacon. It's got that kind of salty, smoky, sweet flavour. The crispier the better. I like it a bit burnt, yeah. I'm like that as well. I like it to be really crispy, especially the fat. If you've got proper bacon, the fatty bits, they have to be properly crispy. Looks a bit like strips of corn bacon. Ah, I don't think I've seen them. They do, I mean they look, yeah, they look like a stained piece of wood. I mean maybe not the most appetizing, but if you crumble it up, no, that just looks like wood chip. Yeah, it just looks like little pieces of wood. But I'm not gonna lie, I think to have it in like a bacon sandwich, that may be a bit strange because it's so thin, but if you were just going to sprinkle on top of stuff, that's actually really nice. No, I'm happy with that. Right, I'm going to get a little plate or a bowl or something and just put that on to get out the road. And it does, it comes away from the paper well, and all of the sauce has stayed on, so that, I would say that was a success. I would definitely make that again if I needed a bacon fix or a fix of a piece of wood. Then this is the way to go. Oh, and you can see, right, so I've got all of these ones where I did it just with my fingers and just kind of patted the sauce on, and then you can see this first one was the one I dipped in, and it's still a bit floppy. It doesn't look quite as nice as the rest. So I think that's the trick, is just to kind of use your fingers and kind of coax it on like that. I'm going to get this out of the road and we'll look at our potatoes. What's more in here? Right, I think these must be done. These have taken so long to cook. The thing is, we want to mash these up, so I like chewy baked it, right? So that's the chewy one. So that bit is quite hard, quite crispy, but this bit in the middle, it actually kind of tears apart.